I am Rana Rauf. Today we will be talking about eVisas. BRP cards have been in place for such a long time and Home Office has brought some new changes which for me are very confusing. So let me welcome our first guest today from Birmingham, Muhammad Ali, who is our senior partner at Access Solicitors. Welcome, Ali.
Hi, good morning, Rana. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Let's bring our second guest from London branch, Romana Kausar, who is again our senior solicitor and partner at London. Welcome, Romana.
Thank you, Rana. Good morning.
Thank you very much. So guys, BRP cards has been in place for such a long time. I think we all have a bit of emotional attachment to BRP cards. It always felt good to receive those cards through the post when we always celebrated, took pictures and all that. Without those BRP card, physical things, what is going on there? What Home Office is trying to do here? Oli, if you can please give us a bit of a input there.
Rana, we're moving into this AI world, as they say. Everything is becoming electronic, and I think the Home Office are following suit here. We've known for the last, I'd say more than a year now, that the BRP cards will slowly diminish, okay? So most people who have received a visa in the last 2 years, I'd say, they've always had their visa expiry date on the BRP card of the 31st of December. Now, this question, Romana probably would agree with me, every client, my visa is expiring in 2025, 2026. Why is my expiry until 31st of December 2024? The Home Office have always advised that there will be some new changes brought in and there will be a new system in place. And fortunately, this system has now been rolled out. It's been going on for the last few months. Everything is becoming on a eVisa system. So it's an electronic online portal where you are registering yourself, updating all your details about yourself, and basically having a substitute of a biometric card online version. I'm sure we'll talk more detail of what this will, involve. In per se, it's a biometric card online, no more physical biometric card that you can be so proud of anymore.
Romana, what are the transition, rules in place? What happens from now till 31st of December? What are the Home Office guidelines on that?
So since all this eVisa came into place and it was introduced, around March earlier this year, the Home Office lodged out a new online UKVI ID that you can create. It's an online ID that every person who has biometric card or currently holds any sort of valid visa, they can go online and register their ID with the UKVI website, and then that would show them their current visa status. So these are the guidelines that everyone was provided by the Home Office. Now, because there's been updates over the last few months, initially the Home Office had announced that anyone that currently holds any biometric cards, they will be sent a link to register their ID. However, that did not take place for everyone. So the Home Office, even today, they are not able to send such email login for each person that holds a biometric card. And there was also issues where clients have applied for leave to remain using solicitors, because normally when you make an application, the solicitor's details or solicitor's email is provided. So there was an issue with how each individual will be able to obtain their login details to actually create their ID. We've had, like Oli said, many clients who are confused, who are worried, who are very stressed out, thinking that their visa is going to end. And if they don't create an ID, they would no longer be legal in the UK. So that is not the case. So just to assure everyone, it is a simple process. It doesn't affect your visa at all. And like Oli said, the replacement will be that you don't actually have to hold a physical card. Your visa is there. Because don't forget, when you are granted the visa status, the Home Office letter itself, or when you are sent an email granting your status, will clearly state when your visa expires. So the fact that biometric cards are expiring on the 31st December has no issue, no relation to your visa status. That remains valid.
I think with the link, Rana, I think a lot of people were getting worried, why haven't I got the email? But I think what the Home Office have rolled out now is that even if you haven't got it, you should apply now. So it's one of them things that we are advising all our clients, don't wait for the link anymore. You will have to apply.
So which means we don't have to wait for the email now. We can just go online, put our card details in there and register for that online eVisa system. Is that right?
That's correct. So around August, the Home Office announced this. So around August, they issued a link that you can actually go online to the UKVI, create your own ID. So we as solicitors can assist clients. We've done it for a lot of our clients, and an applicant can do it themselves as well. So you just go onto the website, to the UKVI, create your account. You will need your biometric card to scan that as an ID. You will need to have an email address for yourself, and then obviously your personal details, date of birth and address and stuff. So you put those, register all of that with your ID, and then you'll be able to access your visa status.
Ollie, what happens after I register myself online? I got the eVisa status. Does my BRP become invalid, or what happens?
So your BRP card is still valid till December. You still got that to be expired till 35th. This is more to do with what happened after that. For traveling, for employers, for renting. As you probably are aware, or you probably heard of this term share code. There was a lot of people where you had to get share codes to be able to prove your status in the UK. Now, for European citizens, they kind of have a head start of this because they have a proof to right to work or right to live in the UK through the government website online, share code. So this is basically coming in line, in sync with that now. To answer your question, up until December, this is still a valid document.
Okay.
You can still travel on it. You can still come back to the UK. You can still work on it. It should still work in normal per se, but it's more to do with what happens after December, which is going to be very important for this.
So according to the current rules, Romana, 31st December, the BRP card will become obsolete. They will not be in use. So what happens after that then? How do I travel? Because in the past, I used to show my card. So when I come on the airport, how does the process work?
This is why it's so important to have your visa registered. So although there's no cut-off deadline from the Home Office, we are encouraging, the Home Office is also expecting everyone to register their e-visas online so that they will not face this problem about traveling. So post-December, if you have to, for example, travel in an emergency, you will be stuck. There will be issues because although you have a valid visa, but you will not be able to travel. So it's very important for everyone to understand that if they have a BRP card, not to wait and to start the process immediately. Go online, register their e-visa and have the visa in place. But after December, if anyone has already obtained the e-visa, they will have access to their visa online. If you look at it in a positive light, following, after when everything's digitalized and you have an e-visa, you don't have to carry a BRP card everywhere. Because you also have the hassle of your passport, carrying the BRP around. If you're traveling somewhere, you might need it any time. So it's ideal to have everything in one place. So all you have to do is log on to your app, wherever you are at the airport traveling, and you can just have your access to your visa there. So
how many times have we heard about clients losing their biometric card abroad?
Exactly.
They can't come back to the UK. They need to apply for a replacement biometric card. It can take months in some circumstances. At least this way, it's an online document. A tip of your fingertips, you can download it. And look, we've had plenty of notice from the Home Office. People should have been, ready to be doing it before December. I don't think there's any reason why anybody should leave it any longer than that.
So when we talk about other visas every week, I always ask a question: what documents are required? What is the list of those requirements? So if I ask you guys, Ollie, if you can please shed some light on what documents do I require to get this e-visa?
So look, because it's a simple process, okay? You need a smartphone, you need to be having your biometric card, and we've even done it with passports now without the biometric, because their passports are linked with people's applications, okay? And that's in essence what you need. And you need your physical self to take a picture of, move your head around, make sure that you are a real person. And it's all put into the app. And realistically speaking, there's no extensive list of documents like proof of address, etc. Because look, the Home Office have all this. They've got your fingerprint, they've got your links, they know who you are. This is only to update their systems. So as long as you can verify your biometric card with your NFC scanning and you've got a smart mobile, you'll be fine. Just a bonus tip here, which is for free. Android users are finding it more easy than Apple users to get themselves logged in online. So if anyone's listening and you've got an option of Apple or Android, go with Android. Not saying it's better, but go with Android.
Okay, Romana, if you can please guide me on an issue which I think I'm going to face in the future. So let's assume I travel from overseas, I come to the airport, and a person like me who does not like mobiles that much, if my battery runs out, I don't have access to that modern phones, I don't have like the technological knowledge, I'm pretty old style. What happens then?
If in that scenario you're stuck, you can, when you arrive at the airport, provide your ID, which would be your passport, which you have to carry. So you can provide that passport to them, and I'm sure because everything's online, the Home Office or the officers, immigration officers, can always access your status. So if you are completely stuck and you have no other options, they should be able to log in and check your details anyway and verify your visa. So you shouldn't have a problem there. Having said that, it would be advisable before you travel to try and log in and make sure you have access to everything.
And if you're old school, Rana, maybe just advise, just print it off and keep it with you.
So does it mean I don't have to buy those fancy phones, that Android or those other iOS stuff like that? So I can just, if I don't have that mobile phone, I can still come to an airport and there will be some kind of a facility or system available for me to access that eVisa.
Potentially. I think we're going to find out more once we're in that position, isn't it? From my thinking or my understanding, look, it's through your biometric. As long as you're physically there and you could put your fingerprints into a machine that they probably bring out, they'll probably see everything on their system anyway. And remember, the phone is more to do with when you are registering the eVisa. That's when you need the smartphone. So realistically speaking, when you're traveling, if you don't have a smartphone and you've got a physical copy, I'm sure that would be sufficient. But more to come on this in the future when we see it happening in reality.
Okay, we would know that after 31st of December. At the moment, probably there's not enough guideline. Romana, at the moment, I know we have the share code, as Oli mentioned before, share code system for verifying our employment status and stuff like that. The employees can do that kind of checking. What are the proposed guidelines in terms of right to work checks and that, when you have to kind of rent out your property? What are the proposed guidelines after 31st of December?
So it's very similar to the eVisa, where you confirm your status. Once you've created the eVisa online, your status online would show that you have the right to rent and you have the right to work, or you have right to public funds. So all of that will be stated on the eVisa when you log in. So like what we were saying earlier, that everything will be in one place. So you don't have to prove things separately to anyone. If you're looking to rent out and your landlord needs evidence, you can just log into that anytime and provide that to the landlord. So that's a procedure to put everything in one place.
Only what I understood until now that we have to have BRP card because it's a replacement of BRP card. What if somebody only have indefinite leave to remain on their passport? So what happened in that case?
This is a very common scenario. A lot of old school people, they just been traveling all these years. They've had indefinite leave to remain since 10, 20 years ago when there was no biometric card, and they've never turned it around to biometric because they've never needed it. It happens quite often. So my advice is you cannot switch from a paper vignette in your passport, which is, for example, you've got indefinite in your passport, you can't switch that over to an eVisa. You have to apply for a biometric card first, and then you have to switch to the eVisa. So anybody who's got the old style paper form or indefinite in your passport, please get in touch with us as soon as possible. We need to get your biometric card, otherwise you're going to face difficulty in the future to switching to the eVisa.
Romana, your thoughts on this same matter?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with Oli. If you don't have a biometric card, 100% we would urge you to immediately apply for the NTL, because with the NTL application, it can take up to around 6 months as per the Home Office guidelines. Some of the ones we've done have come back a lot quicker, but it is better to start sooner than later, because by the time you have that NTL approved, you would then have to register before December. So it's ideal to have that done now.
Okay, talking about NTL, sorry, just a quick one on this. Because of these some changes, there's something that's been quite interesting announced today morning actually. So the applications for replacing biometric card is being demolished now. So because the BRP is not going to be longer available after December, they're going to stop making biometric cards from October the 31st. So just over 4 weeks' time, no more biometric card being issued. Okay, so if you are making a application for a replacement, please go back into your application before submitting, because there will be some changes from today. If you need any help, we're here to help you guys, but it is something to take into consideration because it comes into effect today. A lot of things the Home Office are going to probably roll out a bit further as well. In terms of applications for NTL and replacement, I think they will have a new application form. I have had a slight look at it. It's a bit different format, but more to come on that. But please do keep in mind, if you are starting an application for a replacement or lost biometric card, please go back into your application and recheck.
Okay, what happens after that? Then that means I have to apply eVisa before that time?
I mean, from what Ollie's saying, I'm assuming that when we have the new form or the new version with the new updates, there may not be a requirement to have the biometrics anyway. So everything would be online. So once your visa is granted following the new forms, you will probably have an e-visa anyway.
Yeah, from my understanding, for example, you're coming on a spouse visa. Prior to coming to the UK, you normally be given a vignette in your passport to say you've got 3 months to come into the UK, and you collect your biometric card from the post office. I think that's going to be replaced now. There's going to be no biometric waiting in the post office. You just have to come to the UK and go onto the eVisa and get your eVisa registered. So I think there's going to be some kind of rollout of that.
That's really good. That's really good. Okay, the next question is, I normally ask when we talk about those visas, what happens if it's refused? So what are your thoughts on getting refusal or not getting any answer from the Home Office when you've applied for it?
Look, it's instant, isn't it? It's an online portal. You should get your answer, or you should get your status uploaded immediately. If you have issues, which I have seen in the past, where people are getting wrong details in there, their expiry date is wrong, or their type of visa is wrong, I don't know if you're going to ever get refused the e-visa because it's either the correct details or not. If you do have an issue with that, where I've seen quite a lot of clients having the issue, there is a system in place where you can contact the Home Office and raise your concerns, and they will most likely rectify them. But giving you some advance notice, please bear with the Home Office, because they are absolutely hurdled in so much backlog of rectification that they need to do. So it may take them a little while, but I'm sure they will rectify in the near future.
Okay. Romana, what happens if somebody has left the country now and they would like to come back after December, and they were overseas and they have got no idea what happened? Any guidance on that?
I mean, if they have a valid visa for limited leave, surely they should be returning within time of their visa status anyway. E-visas is such that you can apply wherever you are. So even if they are abroad, they can make an application to register. And I'm sure if they've traveled out for a good few months, their biometric card will have an expiry date, which they should be aware of. As soon as they find out, they should register. They should make immediate steps to register their visa online.
So there's not much guideline at the moment. And what are the penalties if somebody does not do register by 31st of December?
There's no such penalties. Nothing would happen. There's no fixed deadline that you must do this by. But like we said, it would affect you traveling, or it would affect you showing your employer.
I think if we go back to the time of when Brexit happened and when people were having to switch over to the settlement scheme, they gave you a deadline of December, and then they extended it for another 6 months because they've seen that a lot of people haven't complied. So I think as for now, Romana is completely right. There is a deadline, but there's no penalties as per se. But I think penalties will probably come into place in the future, maybe another 6 months, 12 months after the deadline. But I guess it's intuitive, isn't it? You're going to have to do it one way or another. When your visa expires, your biometric card is expired, but your visa expires, you're going to have to do the e-visa anyway. So I think it will fall into place one day or another for everyone.
Are there any exemptions on this e-visa? Like, are there some visas exempt, like somebody can not go on it, or like visit visa or something like that?
You have to have a settlement visa. So for example, if your visa is for more than 6 months or more, anything that produces a biometric card, you have to go and do the e-visa. If you are on a visitor visa, you are only here on temporary 6 months or less, you don't need to do it. There's another scenario where we have this asked a lot of people. So a lot of people who got biometric residence cards, which are European or dependents of Europeans, they're pretty much online already because they've got pre-settled status. They're not required to do that either. So that's something that is quite commonly asked, because their pre-settled card doesn't expire on the 31st of December. Most of them anyway. If they do, you can try doing the e-visa, but I had a client who we tried for previously, and it showed that they're already on the online system. So they are another exemption that do not need to do it. So it has to be something which is going to give you a biometric card and which is more than 6 months. You're on here on a permanent stay in the UK. Those people have to get it done.
Thank you. Romana, are there any fees or are there any fee waivers available for this application?
So for this application, because it's not an application, it's a registration of your status. There's no Home Office fee at all. It's free. It's just a website. You just go on there and register. There's no such Home Office fee. So for that reason, there's no fee waiver as well. Same with the NTL application. If you're trying to re-register your ILR status, there's no fee for that.
Thank you very much. I think we had a very short topic today. So Ollie, if I can please request you to sum up everything at the end and remind our viewers what they should be doing now and what they cannot do after 31st of December. Can you please sum it up for us?
Yeah, so it's probably a daunting time for a lot of people thinking 31st December's coming, I don't know what to do. Look, the process is not very difficult. Come and speak to us, guys. We can assist you along the way. It's quite an easy system where you have to go onto an electronic system. It's not going to take more than, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes. Easily done, but please, I would make a plea to everyone, do get it done. We don't know what the implications are going to be. We don't know if there's going to be any penalties or any retributions after it, but get it done. So the worst case scenario, you're traveling, you want to go for your new job, etc., you do not have any issues coming forward with the new system. And we all know when the Home Office put a new system in place, there is bound to be some kind of issues and errors and fallback. So come and speak to us. Let us help you get onto this new AI system of the Home Office.
Romana, what are your final remarks on this topic today?
I think something we didn't touch on is the fact that where people have applied for these e-visas, they haven't had immediate, they can't view their status immediately. And a lot of clients have made, they've contacted us and they're panicking about this. But there is nothing to worry. Like Ollie was saying, there is a backlog with the Home Office. They've been rolling out different steps towards this gradually. And the Home Office have, I think, around 4 million BRP cards or something to issue to get through with these e-visas. So not everyone's status may be available online immediately. The Home Office are still going through this and they have until December to do this. So if you do register and you can't view your status, it's ideal to wait, give it at least 2 or 3 weeks and keep checking. Go log on online, register and keep checking.
Romana Kausar and Muhammad Ali, thank you very much for your time today. I'll see you next week. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.